In that your payments past due, your life just races past you. Wake up, the Matrix has you. Wake up, the Matrix has you. We are enslaved like cattle, held back with chains and shackles. Wake up, the Matrix has you. Wake up, the Matrix has you. In that your payments past due, your life just races past you. Wake up, the Matrix has you. Wake up.
Who has literally found a doctor that proves that people are getting sick from chemtrails. This proves it without a doubt. We already knew that, but here's one doctor that actually went on video and puts it right out there. So for all those people that are having all these adult allergies and Morgellons disease and everything else, of course you are, of course we are. It's happening to everybody because they are spraying heavy metal in the atmosphere, period. Period. I've been yammering about this for 6 years now, and people still don't listen, even though the sky looks nothing like it used to at all. That's kind of a big deal, and people just do not want to admit it. People don't want to deal with it. They don't want to face it. Operation Solar Shield is the work of madmen, psychopaths, people that want to be God, or at least duplicate his works. An actual, real doctor, not a holistic doctor, not a chiropractor, an actual doctor that explains why someone is sick and what the cause is. You see what I mean? At any rate, Richie from Boston, and I'm out.
But if you look at the news, it's not being widespread reported, but we have a massive flu epidemic going on right now in the United States. Hospitals are becoming packed full, and it just
everybody in the office that took it got it.
It just so happens that if you look at the swine flu, you always have to ask yourself, well, why all of a sudden is this year this big, huge epidemic with the flu? Not only are they doing hexavalent flu vaccines where they're putting 6 who knows what viruses in there, and if anyone goes online, they'll realize real fast that it's impossible to do an influenza vaccine because it replicates differently every time. But
let's hit your body with 6 different ones at once.
Yeah,
that's the equivalent of 6 vaccines.
The sick behavior that we're having, and the bees get it too. Even people who have good night's sleep are not feeling it. They wake up tired, they wake up dragging, and so what else could it be but something environmental, something toxic that we're being exposed to?
It's got to be above government because it's global.
Right. They're doing it all over the world.
Yeah. China, Russia, everywhere.
And then that's the thing. If we don't know who, then we don't know all of the answers for them, and that they can't make a solid opinion. One of my biggest frustrations is the line, they wouldn't do that to us.
I've heard that too. Why would they do that to us? Because they have families too. And I tell them, well, I have a genetic disorder that makes me prone to cancer. And why? Because they were testing nuclear weapons in the West Deserts of Nevada, St. George, Cedar City area in Utah. My family was subjected to that radiation, which caused some DNA problems, and it got passed down to me.
And your son.
Yeah, and my son. They did that because they felt that was more important than the lives of people.
Spend a few bucks, get your rainwater analysis, you can get your hair analyzed, and I have footage of these sprayers, and they show up on flight radar. I don't know any airline that does not spray. They aren't told, oh, by the way, turn this switch when you get to a certain point. It's all done centrally. There's plenty of patents where the substance actually gets injected into the exhaust. I mean, there's a US Navy patent called the powder contrail. There's so much freaking evidence. It's insane.
Okay, get a load of this. Scientists are warning now, and you're hearing this all across the mainstream media, and I think even from the World Health Organization, but I'd have to verify that. They're warning about so-called Disease X, and they say Disease X is going to wipe out the human race, and that all the conditions are right, they say, a perfect storm for an infectious disease wipeout that's going to destroy humanity. But they don't know what disease it is yet, so they're calling it Disease X. You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like a cover story for the release of a bioweapon that maybe is already called Disease X. I mean, you gotta understand.
There are so many things going on, and it's because these nanoparticles are disrupting the workings of our cells, our bodies attack ourselves, and it goes nuts. But just concentrating on what's being sprayed is only half the story. The electromagnetic aspect of this is devastating. The Russians were using the woodpecker program back in the 80s. They could change
right here.
Yeah, because it's very long wavelength. It travels a very long distance. And it's such simple technology. Our body's resonant frequency is 5 hertz. All you have to do is just point that at someone, and it's, yeah, if you pick someone up and shake them at 5 times a second, they'll fall apart. There's so much research on the cognitive, physiological, and other effects of electromagnetic radiation on our bodies and our minds. And, you know, put a burrito in the microwave, you know, it does something. You'll often find you just be going about along with your day, and then suddenly, like, bam, you're extremely tired, you just have to sleep. And you'll find a lot of people at the same time will have those things. You'll have people getting similar, like, muscle spasms in different parts of the body all over the place. I mean, it's full spectrum warfare. I mean, the electromagnetic, the spraying, all these sort of things.
But they're all about death, and they want a mass killing, and they've got the bioweapons ready to go. They're just creating a narrative now so that this, you might be asking this, what would be the point of them talking about this ahead of time? The answer is they need to be able to make sure that the blame goes to Mother Nature, not to the globalists, you see. This is why bioweapons are the perfect weapon from the point of view of globalists who want to depopulate the planet and murder 6 billion humans. It's a perfect weapon because you can't trace it back to anybody.
Trillions upon trillions of viruses fall from the sky each day. New York Times posted April 13, 2018. Isn't it interesting that scientists are just now figuring this out? Trillions upon trillions of viruses fall from the sky each day. And it just so happens that scientists are now figuring this out after decades of increased spraying of chemicals, heavy metals, biologicals, viruses, bacteria, fungi, all sorts of things. How do they calculate trillions upon trillions?
They just published their mortality statistics for 2016. And you'd expect, okay, what's top 3? Cancer, heart attack, stroke. Always has been. Number 1, dementia. Number 1. Which of course includes Alzheimer's, which is caused by aluminum. They found carbon nanotubes in Parisian lungs. In Turin, half of the children had severe DNA damage from nanoparticulates. And there's a study that came out recently showing how nanoparticles interfere with the nuts and bolts of the internal workings of your cells and cause rheumatoid arthritis, which is just one of the very many autoimmune diseases we're all coming down with. We don't need any more evidence. We need to get this out into the public consciousness and say, oh, hell no.
I wanted to let you know that there was a study that was released back in the summer of 2016, the Environmental Protection Agency. They declared that emissions from jet engines endanger the health of human beings and the environment. They pointed out, they were investigating the possibility that lingering contrails, this is what they called them, lingering contrails contribute to dangerous heat waves, more powerful storms, lengthening of fire seasons, and other dangerous consequences. Well,
I have on camera a doctor telling me exactly not only what he thinks has made me sick or could have made me sick, but he's witnessed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in California, and he has reports of them all over the country getting a certain thing called Chemtrail Lung. And you think I'm joking? I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not. And I wanted to share this because it is my 10th day of being sick. I went into the doctor 5 days ago. This is after trying to beat whatever it is I have. Aches, pains, cough, fever, regular flu stuff, right? So I went 5 days ago. They stuck this really big, long stick up my nose, and I thought, what the hell? I swear to God, it touched my brain, and I don't have much of a brain to spare. Well, that's how they test you for the flu. They do a little swab. Well, it turns out I didn't have the flu, okay? And then I asked him, should you get the flu shot if you're sick? And I got that on camera too. He says no. No, and he was grateful that I did not have a flu shot because he said more people have been sick that have gotten the flu shot this year than those that have not. All right? It's just one medical doctor's opinion, but I have it. I have it on camera. And the second thing that I want to say is I went 5 days ago after trying to beat this myself with garlic and lemons and you name it. I have tried everything. Lots of sleep, kept myself healthy. Still very, very, very sick. So I finally went back, and today he said it sounds like it's in your chest. So he took a couple chest x-rays, and it came back that I have a form of bronchitis. And I said, how do you think I got this? Well, he said, Rachel, we don't know. We put you on a certain antibiotic, which he did 5 days ago. I went on Keflex. It did nothing. If anything, it made me worse, which antibiotics most of the time do. So when I came back to him, I said, I'm not any better. And he said, well, we can put you on a different antibiotic called the Z-Pak. Not guaranteed it's going to help, but there's so many viruses out there. There's so many bacterial infections. And I said, where are they coming from? And this is when I recorded it. And when he told me, I said, can I get you on camera saying that? Because I really, really want a lot of people to know. And that's why I'm giving this video. I might air it on my channel, but I think I'm actually going to give it to Richie from Boston.
What a name, huh? What a name. That's like Ebenezer or what, at any rate.
Because not only is he an awesome truther, he's got a lot of people following him. And I think the more people that know this, the better to get out there. Because I think it's important that people start to wake up. And I'm happy to know that this doctor at least is woke. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, thanks for letting me share. Thanks, Richie, for Boston, for getting it out there.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Yep, she dig?
And, yeah. Rachel Rienstra is my name. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the truth for once. Okay, so I'm here with the doctor because I'm still sick. And I just wanted him to reiterate what he just said.
Okay. Hello, whoever you all are.
Get closer. Yes.
So there is an emerging problem that we're having in society all over the world, actually. It's called Chemtrail Lung. There are more and more respiratory conditions that are showing up because of the toxic chemicals, heavy metals, gases, virus particles, and other things that are being sprayed across the atmosphere. Especially in this area, because Palmdale Airport is the source of a lot of top secret activity that takes place. And there's also a lot of still breathing of fracking gases from Porter Ranch and the other surrounding areas.
That's right, that big, yeah.
And also because of the topography of the way the Santa Ana winds blow in this area.
Right.
And on top of all of that, the smog. And on top of all of that, what we know about the amount of inhalation of mold and mildew in the walls of the buildings and things of this sort.
That's true.
So the combination of all of these things, plus the overuse of antibiotics. Plus being in the cold and the flu season in general.
And how do you feel about the flu shot? I mean, I did not get one, and I won't ever get one. I don't believe in them. I know some people do. How do you feel about the flu shot?
I don't recommend it in general. Mm-hmm. There's a few categories of people who are most appropriate for getting them, but not every year, because so much of the time the true effectiveness and efficacy of flu shots is very, very low, and it's not necessarily that it's a benefit. It's a public health policy issue, but it is not necessarily a physiologic benefit to the patients.
Even though they want you to get one, and they say, "Oh, come on in to get your flu shot, get your flu shot." They encourage it, but at the same time, it could be a different strain that's coming about, so it could actually make it worse.
Yeah, well, we've been dealing with sub 30%, sometimes even sub 20% effectiveness of flu vaccines in recent years, and it's a guess as to what may be needed in the composition of a flu vaccine in order to get it ready for distribution, and then most of the time we miss more than we hit.
The Matrix has you. We are enslaved like cattle, held back with chains and shackles. Wake up, the Matrix has you. Wake up, the Matrix has you. There is a hidden agenda at play. Same old bullshit, but a different day. They're telling us lies and they're getting away, deceiving the world and it isn't okay. Get out my way, cause I'm shining the light on these bastards with every chance that I get. Attempting to wake people up to this nonsense until the elite just can't handle this shit. Sick of living life in utter madness. So sick of them treating us like...
You know what I'm saying?